Welcome back to Civ Tactics. Today we are going to talk about why right now is a very good time to be prepared, especially with everything that's happening in the world, and what you need to be prepared. And that's just not a gun or to be ready for a gunfight. That's also for water, food, survival stuff. We're going to go over all of that today because right now, I feel like it's a good time to, especially with the world. What to talk about today is what is happening right now, why it's important, why are we even making this video about this? Because that's kind of important to know. Right now, we're at war with Iran right now. The U.S. government is, and all the stuff going around in Mexico, which is right next to door to us, and their government is sending threats to us now, saying that there's sleeper cells in the U.S. and they are going to attack. Uh, do I think that's going to happen? Maybe a few very big, like the Texas. They had an incident in Texas. A few weeks ago, we had an incident in New York where an IED was thrown. Did not go off, luckily. Incidents like that in bigger cities, I feel like could happen, but we're talking about more large term, like let's say a team of a terrorist group goes and takes a hospital or something like that, and how if they for some reason are where you are, what you need, what daily you need, and what prepper needs. And what I mean by that is like now we've got home and they're still attacking. Like let's say they take over a city, which I highly doubt that, but let's say they take over a city and it takes a few days for the military to get in there. You have to know this is what I need. Uh, Kind of like what's happening in Mexico right now, but we have a lot better police systems. First thing we're going to start off with is what situations you would be in. They've already said that they would like to attack schools, any religious place, churches, hospitals for sure, and of course military bases. I think they would probably prioritize hospitals and churches. So two main big things they want to go after. So if you're in any of those situations, maybe be a little more cautious right now, especially if you're in a major city in the U.S. If you're just in a little tiny, um, let's say, little tiny town, you're probably not going to get a terrorist attack. But if for some reason you're like in a huge hospital in New York or like in Tampa, we have Tampa General, which is like a level one trauma center. You might want to be a little worried about that because there could be bigger threats there. But first, we're going to talk about what is an everyday carry for these situations. And what I mean by that is like you're not going to carry a 3-day survival backpack into a hospital. You can't carry a gun to a hospital, sadly. But other places you can carry a firearm if you'd like. But what I would carry, I think it's good. Always carry a firearm if you can. That'd be great. Go for it. Uh, if you have a backpack, please bring a backpack. That does help. Carry medical supplies, gauze, anything like that, and tourniquets. Because even though you want to fight them, you might have to help other people and render aid. Luckily, if you're in a hospital, there's a lot of medical supplies there. But I'm talking more like if they attack a church or a public place like a mall, even that's where we're gonna need more of those supplies. But you can't carry a gun in both of those places if you'd like. But what I'm talking about here is what I would carry. I would carry a backpack with medical supplies. If you want to go crazy, go with a truck gun, but I would not recommend that. If you're carrying it around on your truck, you can have a gun. Your handgun, a good blade, a good knife. Medical supplies, tourniquets is like a minimum. You need a tourniquet, gauze, chest seals, stuff like that, just to be prepared if something happens. Just keeping it in your car, even. Now, we're also going to talk about here what what is the plan of action if that happens? Like, you're going to talk to your family. If you're alone, that makes it way easier. But if let's say you're with 4 people and that's your family, say your 2 brothers and your mom and dad, they need to know, like, if I'm carrying, what we're going to do here. Are we going to go on the back? Are we going to go out the front? You have to communicate with them. Why are we parking at the front? Maybe it's an easier exit. Why are we parking in the back? Because if we get to the car, we're free. Uh, I like to call certain places gray zones, put it that way. And for these situations and a terrorist attack, everything, like the building's a gray zone, but you gotta think about it. Usually a restaurant's not that bad. Like there's people around, everything. The gray zone would be like the parking lot. The number one robberies in the whole US, we're just using robbery statistics and knives and stuff, is in a Walmart parking lot. So parking lots are crazy big gray zones. So you gotta understand we want to eliminate the gray zone. And your car is not the gray zone because you know what's in your car, you know you can get away with your car, you know all this stuff. So maybe if you can, parking in those certain buildings can help you a lot. Limit those gray zones, such as not parking in the very back of the parking lot or hanging out in the back of the parking lot, like some people like to do, can help a lot in those situations. Moving as a group as well. Like if you have one guy just running up to the building, it's not going to help you because he's alone now. Um, Stuff like that. We're gonna have a whole video on gray zones, but I'm just giving you a basis. You need to talk to your family and be like, "This is our emergency plan." Like when I was littler, my dad said, "If a fire happens, we're going to this tree outside," and we'd all meet there. And that's kind of how I still remember that to this day. Now we're gonna get into the more prepper group of this whole thing, like what you should prep for. Uh, Personally, you need like they call a Minuteman outfit. I'd say that as well, but you need something more camping style oriented rather than I'm gonna be wearing 100 pounds of ammo and guns and stuff that doesn't help you survive. It helps you kill, but that doesn't help you survive. If you have to come out of that situation, I think the best thing is to do is leave before it happens. If there's a major like crazy attack, let's say in your city, and you're in an apartment, get in your car and leave. Just leave. I know like during 9/11 people didn't leave, but just leave. You don't know what's going to happen next. You can't prepare for what's happening next. So getting away is the main thing, and that includes bug out bags, that includes your regular day carries, whatever else you want to carry with you. Uh I mean, it all fits your description. I mean, if you're in the city, you're not going to have a camo bag running around. You're going to look a lot more suspicious. I'd rather have just a regular like JanSport bag. Now, that's vice versa. And if you're trying to give a different image, per se, like a lot of people get this wrong. They're like, the world ended. I'm going to throw all my kit on and go fight. Well, you could be seen as the bad guy, honestly, because why is there a guy with a plate carrier running around in a combat zone that isn't a police officer or a U.S. soldier? If it gets to that bad of a point where we need people to fight back, that's a different story. But we're talking about like immediate threat zone, like this happened at a hospital 2 miles from you, it might spread. There might be more happening near you. Is there another big hospital or ER near you? Stuff like that. So you have to realize that like you cannot always be the hero, honestly. And I'm not saying don't try to go eliminate the threat, but you don't want to be running into that zone looking like what they're looking for, honestly. You want to get away and reassess your especially if you have a family member or you have other people with you that don't aren't ready to go into that situation. Uh there's there's so many prepper things like you need, I would say the rule of thumb is a week's worth of food and 2 weeks of water. That's what I keep on me. I try to, because water is more important than food in the end game. You can go 30 days without food. So a week's worth of food could get you maybe a month if you pushed it. Now, water, you need 2 weeks of water because that's 2 weeks of water. You're exercising, you're moving, we're running, we're getting away. So not having water is a big deal because that's how you keep yourself running, honestly. So you need those kind of essentials. Like you can have an AR with 5,000 rounds. That's great for you, but if you die of hunger and thirst and you get sick, that AR doesn't help you. You can't eat the AR. Another thing is a sleeping system. A lot of people don't think about it, but how are you going to sleep? Good sleep is how you operate good. If you sleep like crap, you're not going to operate good. Eventually, it's going to wear down in your body. You're going to lose muscle. You're going to lose all this stuff. So a sleeping bag, something to carry with you. My bug out bag consists personally that the food and water thing, sleeping bag system, an isomat, a whoopee in case it gets cold, a whoopee because you don't know what you'd be wearing. Uh, all the camp, honestly, if you're camp, you can literally make a bug out bag. All a bug out bag is camping equipment that you can leave with. Now, when when we get more into the prepper stuff, like you're gonna stay somewhere a while, that gets completely different. Like if I was gonna stay here per se, like if an attack happened, this is actually not how far Tampa General is. For let's say it's 2 miles, it's not. I would have to realize the threat and say I'm staying here. Well, I wouldn't recommend that, but if you are, then there's a different level. Now you should fill up your water heater. Your old water heaters that gives you like 30 gallons of water right there. Fill bowls up, fill all that stuff up, get water reserved. If you have food, canned foods, eat your cold food first, like your chicken nuggets. eat that stuff first because that's going to go bad first. Keep your old stuff that'll last longer. Take account of your equipment. Set up day watch, night watch. We're in a perimeter situation now. We need someone on watch. We're worried that they're going to come attack us. And that all changes. That changes everything. Now, if you move, you still need to have people on watch at night, but you're at least getting away from the threat, theoretically, rather than sitting and letting it come after you. There's a lot of different things you can do with that, per se. If I was going to stay here, we would have probably people on 4 or 5 hour shifts rotating out, because that gives you about 20 hours. If you have 4 people, I hope you have more. I hope you have buddies that are willing to come. But that gives everybody time to sleep, rest, get up, let's fight. Maybe in the meantime, someone cooks you something, that kind of stuff. But you definitely don't want, you want to have someone on watch in this situation, because most of the time they strike when you don't think they're going to strike. You never know. I mean, you never know when they're going to strike. Like I've trained with night vision with people, and you can sneak up and almost touch them because they just are oblivious to what that is, and they're also tired. If you're tired, you're not as aware. You can't move as well. You can't do any of that stuff. So if you're going to stay in place, make sure your guys have rest, make sure they're ready, make sure they're conditioned. And if for some reason an attack happens, I'd say get your guys together and leave. Just leave. Go stay in a hotel for a few days. If it gets better, great, come back. But if you can't do that, of course, go stay with a friend, go stay with a family member a few miles away. Even a few miles just gets you that much further that they have to move to you. Put it that way. Now, like I said, if you just have to stay in place, you have to do those things. You have to be more precautious. You have to figure out how to do your own food and water, because I honestly, like in Mexico, would not go out of my house unless I necessarily needed to. They are everywhere, I'm sure. And if that in that situation, let's say a terrorist group took a block of your neighborhood and you were part of that block, well, now what? You're stuck there. So all that kind of stuff, you just have to realize, like, man, do I have enough food ready in my thing? Do I have a generator? Do I have enough gas saved up? Do I have all that kind of stuff? Do I have enough stuff to keep me alive for long enough? Because when you're running, you're hiking, you're moving, I mean, put it this way, you're sitting still so you can take less food intake. But let's say at most you're eating 2,000 calories a day, which is like average, like 160-pound person. That's less than I would want to eat. But if you had to, uh, that's still gonna you're still gonna lose calories. You're gonna lose your health benefits. You're gonna lose all that stuff slowly, and you're gonna have to replenish that somehow. Is that going out? Is that your own sources of making food? Is that just being prepared for that long out? Those are all options. But this whole video is talking about how right now we need to be prepared and we need to be ready in case of something like that happening, which I hope it doesn't happen. But we need to be. Everyone needs to be prepared. I mean, that's what makes America great, is we can be prepared. Another thing is, if you can't afford it, it's a hard thing, but night vision is crazy, crazy, crazy helpful. I mean, you get another 12 hours operation zone. So instead of flashlights are giving your position away, now you can sit there and watch the people attacking you. I don't know who they are. It could be anybody, but you can watch them rather than being blinded. Um, Night vision's good in every situation like this. Movement, staying still, gathering, going out. Night vision is just a good tool because if you get stuck out at night, you can see. Um, at the same time, if you body armor is another iffy subject. I'll go over quickly about this because when you body armor slows you down in the end. It does give you protection, but if you're in an active combat zone, put it this way. What I mean by active is there gunfire all around you, less than a mile. Maybe wearing a plate carrier is good. If there's mortars or drones, that's good. Now, if you are evading and you are 20 miles from the nearest fight, maybe relax on it. You don't maybe need it. Uh, it's a big deal. If you can outrun your enemy, the enemy can't attack you. Put it that way. If I'm wearing 15 more pounds of body armor, that's going to slow me down. Even if you're super fit, that's still going to slow you down. Putting all things in considered. So there's another annihilation with that, but let's get back on the track of the video. The whole point of this is talking about the two sides of preparation. I've went over everyday stuff, the backpacking, all that stuff. And I think that is something that you should watch and go over. Sorry if this video is a mess. I'm making 2 videos right now because you're getting back to back because it's spring break. So you're gonna back to back video, and the next video is gonna be super cool. I'm hoping it's gonna be a great video. It's very hands on. So this video is kind of a mismatch, honestly. But now we talked about our prepper element, and we talked about kind of why we're prepping for this. We did that first, and we talked about every day, and now we're doing this. And we went on a little bit of body armor, but forget about that. The last thing I want to talk about is your fellow Americans and your fellow friends. If your goal when this all goes down is to go kill everybody, including your neighbors, that's not what you should be doing. You're not actually defending what you want. Now, if your neighbors are evil, I get that. But if you could come a choice where me and him are gonna team up, we're gonna go fight this terrorist group, let's say, if that ever has to happen, I'd rather have that teammate than just raid him and take all his stuff. He dies, and now it's just me. So keep in mind when you're thinking about this, if you ever watch The Walking Dead, how in the beginning they want to talk to people, and you got to be welcoming to people in these situations because we all want to defend the same thing, and that's ourselves. We don't want to die. Even the people that are attacking, even well, they might too, depending on their religion. But we have to remember that the plan shouldn't be I'm gonna go kill everybody, I'm gonna go raid everything. The plan should be I'm gonna defend myself if needed. We're gonna work together and we're gonna eliminate this threat so we can go back to being safe. Now, I hope this never happens. I doubt a full scale invasion will ever happen. It won't happen for a long time, at least on American soil. Now, these terrorist attacks are more likely to happen every day. And you got to take that into account that police might not respond as quickly as you think. And also, they have to respond to active gunfire. So they're going to take even longer. So being able to be capable and being able to hide and fight is a big deal, especially if they take over, let's say a shooter takes your apartment building. You have to be able to protect yourself in there. You can't just jump out the window. Well, I hope you don't jump out of like a 5-story window. But that's the that's that's what we're all. That's what I'm trying to encompass here is be aware of your surroundings. Don't watch all the news, but keep your eye out and make sure that you guys are safe and you're ready and you feel ready. You there people say you can always you're never ready, and I agree with that. You're never ready, but get to a point where like I think I could survive a week. I could do this. I can defend myself. I feel proficient enough that I can do that. Then we're ready to go. But until then, maybe put some into that. I mean, buy a little thing every week. If you got $20 to spare, instead of going to McDonald's, maybe cook at home and buy that bottle, that purification system, or buy that sleeping bag, or do those little things that can help you be ready, and then you feel safer if something ever happens. We don't prep because we don't prep because we hope it happens. We prep so that we're ready if it happens. So you kind of if you are truly worried about this, then get ready, fix it, do something about it. Now, if you just don't care, then this channel is not for you. But please go prep. Please be ready, especially with the world right now and how they're saying they have over 1,000 sleeper cell units waiting in here, and they're going to do this and this and this. If you live near a hospital or anywhere, just be ready. Be prepared. Keep your eyes out. Just do what you can, guys. And that's the whole point of this video. Is I want to just put that out there. Do what you can. The news will freak you out. I get that, but think about it more realistically. Like if you're on don't think about it like they're going to come invade us just yet. So just yet. But the first attack won't be evade. Think about it more. I'm out with my family getting ice cream, and they attack. You have to know what you need to do then, and you have to understand what you have to do, or you'll die. So that's why I'm doing this video. This is a quick thrown together video, just talking about everything that's happening right now and why we're ready. Next Thursday there will be a really big video coming out. Uh, I really want you guys to go watch that. It's a back to back because it's spring break. And then the week after, I'll have another video because then we'll be back on our cycle. But thank you again for watching this. Like I say, it's a community. Go chat about in the comments if you want. Be prepared. Stay ready. Civ Tactics out.